Great. All right, well, welcome everyone. I really appreciate your time today. I know as busy professionals, it's sometimes hard to make it to these calls, but I'm really excited to actually be able to launch this book. It is the first suite book, and I think it's exciting because the Autodesk Infrastructure Design Suite software is a comprehensive building information modeling software for infrastructure, and it combines intelligent model-based tools to help streamline workflows and optimize the infrastructure project outcomes. And so we've really tried to help you work through an entire project through this course. There we go. So just a little bit about me. I've been using the Autodesk product since Release 9, teaching it since 2000, writing courseware for ASCENT since 2007. And I've done all kinds of teaching, face-to-face, recording content for online learning, as well as synchronous online learning. And it's exciting to me because I was actually one of the first Civil 3D, ACI, and ACE globally, and that's the Autodesk Certified Instructor and Autodesk Certified Evaluator program. So just to give you an idea of the topics that are in the course, we have used the entire Infrastructure Design Suite, like I had said, and the guide takes you through an example workflow for the road and highway design project. You start out using Autodesk InfraWorks, using the AutoCAD Civil 3D, the Map 3D tools within Civil 3D, Autodesk Navisworks Manage, using Autodesk 360 to do some vertical optimization things, and just the whole suite of products there. And so I'm going to take you actually chapter by chapter through the book to help you see what is actually in it. Before I do that, I want to just show you a little bit about what's inside the book. Of course, this book does have our typical ASCENT workflow or layout, where we have the learning objectives to help you understand what you'll be learning in each section. But in addition to that, this course is written to help you pass the Autodesk certification exams for the road and highway workflow. And so I've listed in the margin there the certification objectives as well. And so you'll see those listed on the left-hand side in each section that covers something related to the exam. In addition, we also have the command summary available at the end of each chapter. It's great for that reference, quick reference to, pull that page out of the book or photocopy that one page and pin it up in the cubicle and have it as a quick reference guide to help you find those commands much faster. So the next thing about the course that I really like is the fact that we do reinforce the learning. Each and every chapter has a minimum of one practice exercise. Many of them have more than one that help you actually go through the process that's described in the context. So you have the opportunity to open up files. The data set is included. There's a class files page that tells you exactly where to go and download those files. They're self-extractable zip files so that when you extract them, they automatically go to the C drive, and it allows you to open up the model and go through a step-by-step process to complete everything that you just learned. And then to reiterate everything you learned, there's review questions at the end of the chapter. Now, because we have used a project workflow as the basis of the book, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background of the project scenario. Basically, what's happened is this fictitious town of Danville has come to us and said, hey, we have been growing like crazy, and because of that growth, we've had to move our old town center to a new location, and we've had businesses come in, but as the businesses have come in, and this new town center has grown, we're realizing we need better infrastructure to support it. And so they've asked us to design a road that helps access this new town center and eliminate a little bit of traffic through the neighborhoods, and also protect a historic site, which is the governor's mansion that's right next to the town center. So you can see this building here is the governor's mansion, and here are the new office buildings at that town center. And so in the project planning phase, which is part of the course, you actually go through and you analyze 3 different road designs, and you create some sketches for one road design, which is this one here, where you come and have the road go directly in front of the historic site. You make some decisions on whether or not that's feasible, if it's the best thing for the historic site, if it's going to, damage the site, anything like that. And then you have another option that takes it to the west side from an existing road or an existing intersection. And then you have a third one that follows along the river and then goes through some farmland connecting up to an existing road. And so you kind of conceptually design this, thinking about those 3 options, and then move into preliminary design. So the workflow that's being recommended here will help a civil engineer or a planner take the road or highway project from the project planning stage all the way through preliminary design, detailed design, and then into design communication, where you create some renderings for stakeholder meetings or public meetings. You create some slideshows to help people understand, what is it going to look like from my backyard? What is it going to look like from that historic site? We want to make sure this is visually pleasing as well as feasible and works with the environment around it. And then we get into the construction documentation, where we go and cut the plan and profile sheets and the cross-section sheets. So again, the reason we've decided to do this on the full suite is we want to help people take advantage of the software that they've purchased. So many people now have the Autodesk Infrastructure Design Suite, and many don't even realize what is even included in that. And utilizing the entire suite will definitely make you so much more effective and efficient that we felt it necessary to help you understand the workflow and create a course around the workflow so that you can work through the design and provide better options to the community that you're building these roads in. And so, many times people ask, well, do I need to know the software already? No. So the very first chapter actually introduces you to the Autodesk InfraWorks user interface. We talk about where to find things, how to navigate the model, how to zoom in, zoom out, go back and forth to different named views or bookmarks, as they're called in InfraWorks, and just help you fully understand how to navigate that. And so if I were to actually go into InfraWorks, find it here, I have so many applications open. There we go. You would actually see I have all 3 of those models that I was talking about. I've got my edge of town option, I've got my east access, my west access, and when I choose a different proposal, you'll notice I'm in the same model, but it gives me different options. And we talk about how to take advantage of proposals in the model and switch back and forth so that we can truly analyze what's going on and how to work with that. We show you how to navigate the model so that you can quickly and easily zoom in, change the view. We talk about, making it look realistic. I mean, the buildings and everything that you see in here, these were SDF files that I brought in. This is GIS data that I incorporated all together and brought in to show the existing conditions. And then you go through the process of actually doing some sketching in the model. All right. So that is the next steps. As I was saying, establishing the existing conditions, that's the next year. And it goes through compiling a bunch of data that should be existing, should be around you. I mean, much of the data that you can find out there, you can get from government agencies, you can get online, things like esri.com. Here in Utah, we have the AGRC, which is a clearinghouse of data that you can compile before you start doing a project. You know, it includes raster files, point clouds, you know, shape files, you name it. There's all kinds of things. And the existing conditions chapter actually takes you through compiling all that information and putting it together in the model so that you could have something as a base. Then when you get into sketching, it actually, you know, help you understand the difference between sketched roads and engineered roads. The benefit of a sketched road is if you do need to show 2D plans, you do have that option to show the 3D model, which gives you a nice road with stripes and everything, or the 2D model that has the just the line work. And so I can quickly show you that in InfraWorks. If I were just to take this, whoops, let's stop annotating. If I were to just take this sketched road and show it in you know, just the line work, I can easily go into the proposal and say, let's just look at the line work of that. And it's going to regenerate the model to show me those sketched roads and the line work behind it. Okay. Now the other part is we actually have design roads available to us now as well. And that is slightly different because with the design roads, you have a true 3D model, and you can actually start adding some information to it, some criteria. So we talk about design speeds. We talk about putting in the tangent lengths for those straight segments of the roads, the curves. You can set your curve radius. You can decide if it's a curve or a spiral curve spiral. So there's a lot of different criteria that you can actually assign to these roads, along with vertical curves. You know, you can go in and add points of vertical intersection wherever you need them, rather than just at the points of horizontal intersection that we are so used to being able to do in what used to be called Infrastructure Modeler. Okay. And so once you go through the sketch roads, then we do go through design roads and the differences between sketch roads and design roads, and how to actually go ahead and do a design road in the model inside of Autodesk InfraWorks. Once you have a really nice model inside of Autodesk InfraWorks, we then take that information that you've designed and pull it directly into Civil 3D so that you don't have to lose any information. And so what we do is we start with connecting the geospatial data by going in and using the Map 3D tools inside of the Planning and Analysis workspace of Civil 3D and connect up to the same data that we had available in InfraWorks. So we connect to those SDF files, we connect to the image file that's in the background, we connect to the DEM file. And then to really do some detailed design to it, we actually go through the process of having a survey done, import that survey data, and create our existing ground surface so that it's accurate enough that we can do some real engineering against that surface and start building our model. And so we bring in the existing conditions, and then we start bringing in the InfraWorks design roads so that we don't lose any time. We reuse data that was already designed, and then we go in and start, you know, editing it as needed, and go in and work with the alignments and profiles. And then, of course, we actually get into some advanced corridor design. And that's when we get into creating the typical sub-assemblies, typical cross-sections or your assemblies, and then doing the creation of the corridor. Now, let me take you into the Civil 3D drawing that has this information in it. Okay, so when we go in and we create the model, again, we brought the information over from InfraWorks, so we already have the alignment and profile. Then we go through and we create the assemblies. Now, the assemblies we create, we do a bridge model because we are going to need a bridge to go across the river. We do a proposed road design with a median in between 2 lanes that has curb and gutter, sidewalk, and our daylight lines. And then we have variations of that. So right at the intersection, we're going to need to take that median out and accommodate for turning lanes. And so this assembly accommodates that. And then we need other assemblies to accommodate the intersection as well, the left turn lane, the daylight through the intersection, stuff like that. And then, of course, we do need to model the existing roads as well so that the intersection comes out just right. And once that's all modeled, we do take you through creating an intersection model, and then we have the course takes you through expanding that intersection model to model the rest of the road. And so it starts with the intersection, and then you expand it, adding additional baselines or regions to get that advanced corridor. And of course, then you have your bridge in the middle here, and then the rest of the road coming along. Now, we do have Instructor Tools coming out very soon that go with the book. They include PowerPoint presentations as well as an instructor PDF that will allow you to go in, and it lists out additional exercises. For time's sake, you know, the course only has you create one intersection. But for those advanced students that are picking it up quickly and want to actually try more things, the advanced exercises that are in the Instructor Tools have you go in and create the other intersection on the other side of the road there, so that you can get a full, really comfortable understanding of what's going on. All right. Once you have the corridor created, then you go in and you create the finished ground surfaces so that you can do your volume calculations for your earthworks. And you'll do volume calculations for your cut and fill, and then go through and do a mass haul diagram to help you understand the cost that's going to be associated with building this road. And it goes through and it explains how to actually create your borrow pits and dump sites so that you can reduce the cost in hauling dirt into the site and then laying it down. And then, of course, to help you estimate the cost of the asphalt and the concrete and everything else that you'll need, we do some material volume calculations as well. Then, to make sure that everyone is communicating on the job and all the team members across the board are working together, we actually take the design into Navisworks to do some design validation. And so you actually open up the Civil 3D drawing file inside of Navisworks and then append to it a Revit structure bridge model so that you can make sure that the structural engineer that built the bridge actually communicated exactly where that bridge needs to fall and everything that goes with it to the other civil team that's doing the groundwork. And then you actually perform a clash detection to make sure everything fits just right. And in fact, there are some pipes, some existing pipes in the project that act as storm drains and irrigation lines, because that's going through some existing farmlands. And we do a clash detection against the bridge to make sure that the footings of the bridge are not clashing with that. And if, obviously if you are clashing, you have to decide, okay, do we move the road or do we actually move the pipes? And that's part of the workflow that we talk about. Then, of course, you have to get buy-in, whether it's the government agency that you're building the roads for or the public. You need to help people understand what that's going to look like when it's all said and done. And so we go through creating some snapshots. We create some rendered images. We create videos for the public to see from storyboards. So the storyboards help you create that slideshow, and then you can create some videos out of it. And then to help people understand, you know, and actually get into the model and take a look at it themselves, we create a scenario that helps you share that model and share those storyboards out with the public through iTunes. And so we are, throughout the course, using the Autodesk InfraWorks 360, which is the cloud interface, to be able to work with different aspects of the projects, and then we do use iTunes as well to share information. And last but not least, we do get into some construction documentation and working with plan and profile sheets and cutting out the cross-section sheets. And so when we get into that piece of it, let me just switch over to our drawing that has that. Not only does the course go through and show you how to cut those plan and profile sheets, but it actually goes in and shows you how to make modifications to them. You know, for instance, you know, you have the opportunity to go in and adjust how those profiles are split when there's so much vertical that it doesn't fit in the size of sheet that you've designed in the course. And so you go in and you make those adjustments to the splits and make sure that everything fits on the sheet of paper. Makes it really nice. There we go. The training guide is available in multiple formats. It's written in the metric format so that all the units are in metric units. So if you're using this book in England to learn how to work with the Infrastructure Design Suite, you do have it in metric units. However, if you're in the U.S. and you want to work in feet and inches, it is done in imperial units as well. Not only do you have the imperial and metric versions, but then you also have multiple formats. You can have a printed spiral-bound book, or you can get it in the e-book format. And I absolutely love the e-book format because I can take notes and I can, highlight whatever I want in the course, and then I can share that information with anybody on my design team. So if I were an instructor teaching the course for a very specific firm and they had a specific workflow they needed to go through, we could take notes on their specific workflow and add it to the course and then share that out with the entire design team within their organization if they wanted to be able to see the adjustments they make for their firm specifically. So I really like that. In addition, the Instructor Tools are going to be available very soon. The Instructor Tools include PowerPoints that for each and every chapter to help an instructor teach this in a classroom. It goes through, it introduces the topic and then gives you an opportunity to demonstrate how that works in the software. And then obviously the users get to try it when they go through the practice exercises. The instructor guide, the instructor tools actually go through a suggested class schedule. So we've got 2 class schedules actually in there. One that is for a 2-day course, typically the type taught at Autodesk training centers. And then we also have another schedule in there for higher education instructors that are teaching at the college or university level that includes a 30-session schedule for the length of an entire semester. Like I was saying earlier, it does have additional exercises that you can suggest to those advanced students that are getting it and want to just really test their knowledge and try some additional things. The additional exercises, we call them projects, and they suggest, okay, now you've learned how to do this, now go try this, this, and this, but it doesn't give them the step-by-step exercise. They have to, think about it and use the knowledge that they've gained through the lecture, the demo, and the hands-on exercises to actually accomplish those. So it makes them think more like they were on a real project. And then, like I said earlier, there are chapter review questions. The answers to those review questions can be found in the instructor tools along with some file management, because we realize even though the data set that we provide at self-extracts to the C drive, we realize that you might have a specific file structure you like to follow for your organization, and we want to help minimize the frustration that might be associated with moving those files to another location by describing what you would need to do. So that actually includes everything within the Infrastructure Design Suite coursebook. And